In this episode of the IT Experts podcast, we're going to help you work out how to maximize your opportunities. Welcome to the IT Experts podcast, the only podcast to help MSPs scale to 1 million, and if already there, get to 5 and go faster. At the end of the day, isn't it all about building a business that works for you rather than you for it? I hope you enjoy the show. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to the IT Experts podcast. This is the fourth in the series in September from the 36 powerful ideas to scale your MSP with confidence. All of these ideas that we're coming through have gone through the model. We started off at the beginning of the episodes with one about mindset. Then we were talking about how to harness your ambition to go from distracted to absolute clarity. Then last show was all about amplifying your capacity of the business to help it become more efficient. So we took that from me dependent to me not needed. And today in this podcast, I want to talk to you about maximizing your opportunities, the third leg of the stool, third leg of the scale with confidence model. And this is where we're going to talk about going from no leads to the lead flow. Now, as I mentioned in the previous episodes, the 36 powerful ideas are available to you all for absolutely £0, and you can download them and get the emails sent into you into bite-sized chunks that helps you understand how to build the foundations for a successful, profitable MSP. And all you need to do, as the link is in the show notes, but all you need to do is go onto bit.ly/36 ideas for MSPs, and you will get an email a day that will go straight into your mailbox, and it will help you to digest in easy chunks all the different areas that we're talking about today. But these podcasts are just summarizing some of those. So look, let's get on with the show. So the first one I want to talk to you about is the scariest thing: putting your prices up. Oh my God, just do it. You know, shock, horror, gnashing of teeth. My customers are never, ever going to accept this. They want more. They want to pay less. They won't pay for that, I hear you say. You know, we work with all of our clients on how to, put a pricing strategy in place. So number one, it's easy for people to understand and buy from you from brand new, but it's also easy to add onto as well when you've got new products and services that are coming up. This is absolutely normal to be scared to death of putting your prices up, scared of rejection, losing a customer, and if you haven't increased your prices for the last few years, and particularly, now in the times that we're in now where costs are going up, it's time to do it. It's time to do it today. So there's a couple of things just want to think about here really is the first thing. Let's talk about pricing to start with. How do you price, your MSP? How should I gauge against other MSPs or whatever challenge you've got at the moment? The number one rule, the cardinal rule in pricing your MSP is that you've got to price it on the value that you provide into the business. So it's all about the business outcomes. It's not about the technology. It's all about what benefit they're going to get from having you on their team as the technical experts. Yes, you can have licensing fees around Office 365 and backup and all of that other great stuff. But at the end of the day, it needs to be a value and a cost that's, will give them a potential ROI. For example, if you're, working with solicitors and they're really, really, one of their really key important parts of their business is making sure that you're keeping hold of customer data, making sure that you're keeping, customers' bank accounts details and all that sort of stuff, then you want to make sure that you could be doing some training. You could be going in there and doing some, making sure that the backup's right, making sure that the security, making sure people know what to do, phishing emails, all of that sort of stuff. So it's the value that you provide, and then you relate it to, to kind of some of the pain. We had a client a couple of weeks ago who was worried about putting his prices up. And we went through a bit of a methodology with him. It took quite a while for him to kind of get his head around it, but we basically graded his clients on level of resistance, high, medium, and low. And you start building off with the low resistance, the ones that you're just going to say, yeah, okay, I know I've been undercharged for so many years, whatever it might be. And then you work your way through. But we crafted this really, really nice email. And in actual fact, he put about 30 grand's worth of profit straight on his bottom line. By sending this email out and it been, getting at least a 50% acceptance rate without, even having a conversation or a challenge, which was quite incredible. But the thing that's really important here is around leveraging the pricing and thinking about how you can, just add, even if you just add another couple of £5 or £10 to every unit that you managed, depending on how many endpoints you've got, all of a sudden you can look at actually increasing your profitability quite a lot within a very, very short period of time. Now, the thing that's quite, exciting about this is that, while you're out there and you're looking for the so much a month that this client is going to be worth to me, think about the endpoints as well, and think about how many people you're going to have, connected to your network as well. So if all of a sudden you did have another product that was, a couple of pound more a month, if you've got a couple of thousand endpoints, that could be a couple of thousand, £4,000, for example, on a month. So think about, when you're putting your prices up, number one, do it. Number two, think about the impact. Number three, make sure that they've got, it's a really good reason why you're putting it up. Don't just put the prices up because, your costs have put up. You've got to be giving them extra value. You've got to be seen to be caring more about them. You've got to be seen to be thinking about how they're going to respond to it and the value that they're going to get, the business value that they're going to get from, either additional services or what you do to justify your costs. The final thing I just want to mention on this is once you've graded and once you really understand your customer base in terms of, low, medium and high, don't be afraid of getting rid of a few clients on the back of this. We go back to the podcast we were talking about a couple of podcasts ago, when harnessing your ambition and understanding your KPIs and understanding the profitability of each client. Now, I know that every single person as an MSP business owner is listening to this has got one client who's an absolute pain in the arse, who takes up much, much more time than they should do. And you're probably not measuring if they're profitable or not by the amount of time that you're spending on them. Now, if you got rid of that client, and all of a sudden you picked up some other clients that were a lot easier, A, you're going to be more profitable, B, you're going to be more productive, and C, it's actually going to be a nicer place to work because you're not going to be drained by these people who are, just taking up all of your time. So I want you to really think about your pricing strategy. I want you to really think about what you're going to do about it, what you're going to do about it today, and go and make some more money, go and make some, build some more profitability into your business so that you've got more, more assets to then go and, to build a more sustainable business. So that's a bit about pricing. The next one I want to touch on it's something that's very, very true to my heart, and I bleat on about this all the time. You are not important until people know how you can make their life easier and how you can solve their problems. I'm really sorry to share it with you all, but you really are not at all important. It's about the relationship you have with your clients. And what this is about is this is around your messaging. It's around your USP. It's around really understanding your avatar. We're just actually about to go into 2 days worth of intensive workshops with our clients. And one of the things we are going to be talking about is how are you relevant? Why are you relevant? What is the thing that really makes it, really important? And, why do they care about you? Why do they care about what you're doing? Your clients, that is, your prospects. I've got a couple of analogies here. If we think about these two lines here, AJ Smith Plumbers, general plumbing and heating services, cool, blah, blah, blah. That's the phone number, okay? Just basically, here's my name, here's my number. This is how a lot of people approach with LinkedIn. Hi, I'm the director of this business. Brilliant stuff. But if you actually look at doing it in a slightly different way, no heating, no hot water. Are you cold? Same day repair guaranteed. Cool. 0870, whatever it is. All of a sudden, you're talking in a message. You're speaking to them with a more, engaging message. So if you had, if you looked at your LinkedIn headline, the one that follows you all the way around LinkedIn when you're commenting, liking, sharing other people's posts, etc., and you tell people, we help architects, we help charities, we help this, we help that, whatever it might be, then it becomes more relevant. And there's the connection, and they build that rapport much, much quicker with you because they're understanding from the outset what you're doing to help their problems. And as I just mentioned in the last point, it must be around the business solution. It can't be around the technology. No one wakes up in the morning and says, blimey, my logistics company, I'd love Office 365. I think it would be really great, but they might wake up in the morning and go, oh my God, everything's really clunky at the moment. We're using old systems. We've got old processes. People don't know how to use the computers properly, et cetera, et cetera. I wish there was a system that we could use that could link it all together. And that is exactly the way that we want to, portray the messaging and come across. So the exercise here really is around understanding your avatar, understanding their pain point, making sure that your messaging is aligned, making sure that your messaging is solving the problems that they have got, and making sure that you put a compelling reason in front of people in your sales and marketing, in your content education, so that when people ring you up, they go, hey, I saw you did that blog, or you've done this piece of work with somebody, that was similar to my business. I'm really interested in how that's working. And kind of sliding on briefly onto another sort of topic within this is we're talking around the sales funnel. And once you've got your messaging kind of linked in and you've got your messaging on point and you're solving your avatar's issues, and that's going to help you build rapport quickly, I want you to have a think about your sales funnel. Now, lots of MSPs faff about, and that's a technical term, at the top of the funnel. So it's all about the LinkedIn. There might be a blog. There could be, if you're lucky, there might be a couple of videos. It might be repurposed from a service that provides sales and marketing, and all of that kind of good stuff. But what I really want you to have a think about today is the journey that you're going to be taking people through on that sales funnel as you go through. And the bottom obviously is qualifications called, triage calls, are we a good fit, proposals, and all that kind of good stuff. But what we find most of the time is there's a bloody great gap in the middle where there's not a lot of activity. So you've got your social media and it's telling everybody what you do. Oh, that's great. It's almost like, kind of vanilla advertising. And we got all the qualification process at the bottom and the sales process, which is all great. But what's actually in the middle? And normally not a great deal. So what could you put in the middle? How are you going to help your clients be educated about your services? How are you going to demonstrate that you're the technical expert? And I'll give you a couple of ideas. Events. Whether it be your event, someone else's event, Chamber of Commerce event, a vendor event, or it could be, a solicitor's. If you've gone to a solicitor's, if you're working with a solicitor, you might be able to use their list as well as yours. Do a learning lunch on security or something like that. And I know that absolutely brings dread into most MSPs. But when you meet up with people, when they're educating, only needs to be a short slide deck, something like that, you can really resonate with them. You can really demonstrate you're the expert. You come across as a personality. You can have a bit of fun with it, for crying out loud, because the last couple of years with the pandemic, it's been an absolute, it's all been online. So meeting up with people and just give them value, give them everything that you've got. Remember, they're not just going to go away and say, okay, I'm going to go and do this myself. They're going to say, hey, how can you help me? Hey, what is it that you do? Hey, I want to learn a little bit more. And then you start moving them down the sales funnel. But what we see so many times is there's this great big cavern in the middle of the sales funnel with nothing in it. So have a think about that today. Have a think about what you're going to put in your sales funnel, what events, what, webinars, what are you going to put into that funnel, basically, just to make sure that you take that journey with those prospects from cold to sold. And the final bit I just want to talk to you about today is shaking the tree. And what I mean by this is, how are you selling more? We talked about putting your prices up. We've talked about, your messaging and the sales funnel. But how are you selling more? How are you offering more value? How are you providing more value to your existing clients? Now, it's quite a simple one, really. And if we kind of take the sales funnel analogy, you've got a bunch of clients that are already working with you, who already know you, like you, trust you. They're at the bottom of the sales funnel. They couldn't be any further. They are in your process. You don't have to do any sales and marketing with them. The only thing you need to do to add more value is work out what it is that they need, explain to them why you're the best person to provide it to them, and then give them obviously a nice rate so you can increase the profitability of that client. But you don't have to do any of this sales and marketing stuff because you've already done it. They're already in. They're in the door. It's shut. They're happy clients, But making sure that they're happy clients is about making sure that you know that they're happy clients. And when you're talking about communication, how do you communicate with your existing clients? Is it through quarterly business reviews, QBRs? Is it through a monthly client newsletter? Is it through a pricing strategy matrix? So you might have a matrix of who's got what service, and then you can easily see who's not got certain services that need it. And then you can make an approach. Hey, I've been looking at your account and I see that we haven't got X, Y, and Z backup or antivirus or whatever it might be. And I think it'd be really beneficial to get that because of X, Y, and Z. Add the value, tell them why it matters to them. Remember that you're not important. It's all about them. Tell them how much it's going to cost and the benefit it's going to provide to the business. And then you're in this routine now where you're constantly, adding value, getting stickier, because remember, the more services that you've got with them, it's going to be harder for them to even think about moving somewhere else. But you could quite easily double your business, over a very, very short period of time. And I mean, in the next year or the next 18 months, by having a proper pricing strategy, having a proper matrix, having a proper communication plan for your clients, grade them as we were talking about before. Go in, when you go in and do a QBR with someone and you sit down with them. I remember, many years ago, I was working with a client and he said, I've just won like 25 computers, supplied to these 25 computers for this client just by going and having a coffee with him. I said, how did that happen? He goes, well, I went into his office, sat down. And I said to him, hey, what's going on over there? He said, oh, we're extending the office. Oh, well, do you need some more tech? And he said, yeah, we do actually. I was thinking about that. Would you like to quote? Yeah, okay. So he's gone and done that, but he wouldn't have had that conversation if he wasn't in that office. So I want you guys to make sure that you're, shaking the tree. You've got your existing clients. How are you adding value to them? How are you communicating? How do you know what's going on in their world? And more importantly, now that you know all that great information, how can you add more value to them by being more relevant?
The ultimate MSP podcast crossover.
Hey folks, this is Praveen from superops.ai. I'm super excited to be part of this ultimate MSP podcast crossover event happening in September. And as part of this, I wanted to share the one piece of advice that I have followed being part of a startup and in my personal life as well. We grossly overestimate what we can do in the short term and highly underestimate what we can do in the long term. And when I say short term, it's like 6 months, 1 year. And when I say long term, it's 5 years, 10 years, right? So it's these unsexy little things, the boring tasks done with deliberate practice and deliberate improvement over time that ensures that your results start compounding and leads to massive success. I think as humans and as businesses, we grossly underestimate the power of compounding. And once I realized that and someone gave me this advice, my life changed forever.
The ultimate MSP podcast crossover.
So look, I hope you enjoyed this show, all about maximizing your opportunities, going from no leads to lead flow. Again, these are all part of the 36 powerful ideas to scale your MSP with confidence. To get hold of the whole email series, all you need to do is click on the link in the show notes or go to bit.ly/36 ideas for MSPs. So I hope you enjoyed this one. The next one is the last in the series, all going to be around action planning. You're going to absolutely love it. So look, that's it for me today. I look forward to catching up with you all soon. You take care and go and have a great day. See you now. So I hope you enjoyed the show. If you did, I'd love it if you could leave a rating and review on your favorite podcast platform. If you want to learn more about how to take your MSP to $1 million, or if you're already there, go faster, then come and join Stuart Warwick and myself in the Scale with Confidence Facebook group. The link is in the show notes. You go and enjoy the rest of your day, and I look forward to connecting with you soon.